I'm Greg Jarrett from FoxNews.com. Earlier this week, University of Missouri student reporter and photographer Tim Tai was blocked from doing his job by a group calling themselves Concerned Students 1950. Tai was actually working on assignment for ESPN.com, and he expressed his First Amendment rights as a reporter, only to find the situation turn even more and more hostile. At the end of the video, after the crowd pushed Tai out of the way, Missouri Assistant Communications Professor Melissa Click is her name. She is seen asking for some muscle to remove a videographer from the scene. She has since resigned. Joining me now from Missouri is that videographer, Mark Schierbecker, the man who captured the entire incident on camera. Mark, thanks for being with us. So set the scene for me here. You're out there, you're shooting video of the events taking place. Protesters are out there. You know, tensions are pretty high, but this is a public section of the campus. And then what happens when this professor interacts with you?
Sure. We released at 10 from class. We voted on whether we were going to walk out. We walked out. I immediately went over to where the protest was starting. And the announcement went out that Wolf was resigning, and there was a short announcement. They told us to please respect the students who were protesting, and that was directed to the media. And then immediately after that announcement, there were those on hand to volunteer started holding up posters that said, media, stay off the grass, media, this is media-free zone, and
Well, now, let me jump in here
space.
because, Mark, clearly they have no right to tell the media to stay out of a public place when public events are taking place. So they were wrong doing that. But what I want to get to is this professor, again, her name is Melissa Click. She comes over to you, and what happens?
Uh, I ended up behind enemy lines right by accident. I noticed her and I went straight to her. I asked, "I'm media. Can I talk to you?" And she said, she said no. She told me basically to bug off, and then she grabbed my camera, and I took that as an insult.
All right, she grabbed your camera. Did she actually hit you? Because I was looking at the video, and it seems like she's sort of slapping at something. Was she slapping at you? Was she slapping at your camera? Did she actually touch you?
Oh yeah, she swatted my hand away, and she does touch me at other points in the video.
All right, and then she later on called for muscle. We're going to play the videotape right now so our viewers can take a look at it and decide for themselves, and then I'll continue my discussion with you after that. Take a listen.
Can I talk to you?
No, you need to get out.
Well,
you need to get out.
No, I don't.
You need to get out.
I actually don't.
All right. Hey, who wants to help me get this reporter out of here? I need some muscle over here. Help me get him out.
Back with Mark Schierbecker. So, Mark, you're quoted as saying that she assaulted you. Really?
Yes, really. And that wasn't the half of it. Before this even happened, it isn't evident. But there are protesters who are grabbing other journalists' cameras and not wanting them to be there. Obviously, they were verbally harassing the journalists who were just there to do their job. Some of them were students, and some of them were ESPN affiliates in the area who were students here. They had as much right to be there as somebody just tossing a frisbee around on the quad.
Do you think it's ironic that this professor, who was trying to stop you from simply doing your job in a public place as a journalist recording the events, is a journalism professor?
Communications, actually. She's assistant journalism, or communications professor.
Yeah. And so your view is this is a communications professor who was trying to interfere with your First Amendment rights?
Exactly, and the hypocrisy, right? But some of it is the antagonisms between journalists and communications specialists who are there to critique the media as opposed to promote it. But still, the hypocrisy. She clearly knew the law from talking to me. She agreed with what I had to say, but still said "bug off,"
Right.
And so she can't keep her job after this. I don't know how she can teach a class on this and not know what the law is.
Well, how about an element of forgiveness here, Mark? I mean, after all, she did issue a statement apologizing not once but twice. I'll read one of them. I regret the language and strategies I used. Sincerely apologize to the MU campus community and journalists at large for my behavior. But you've called that insincere and curt. Why?
For one, she hasn't apologized to everybody she interfered with that day. It was not just myself and Tim. There were hundreds of other journalists there who were prevented from doing their jobs, and she seemed to be the one orchestrating it.
Well, she sincerely apologizes to the MU campus and community and journalists at large. Sounds like she's apologizing to everybody. I mean, come on. Should she really lose her job over there? She made a mistake. She used bad judgment. She regrets it. She's apologized. Can't everybody move forward? Does she really have to be unemployed?
No, because she, despite all that, still seems to think that the law doesn't apply to her. She should not be in any sort of situation where she has an authority position where she's interacting with students in a professional capacity when she's assaulting other students on campus. That to me is ridiculous.
All right. Well, I know you think it's assault, and technically it is, but I've been a lawyer for 30 years, and I doubt any prosecutor would ever bring criminal charges for assault over something as minor as that. Last quick question, Mark. So what's the atmosphere like now on the campus of Mizzou?
Well, you see the two fundamentally opposed groups on campus, the students and the journalists. The journalists here all usually agree that that was uncalled for, and then you have allies of students 1950 who want to sympathize with them, but also say that somehow journalists were not respecting their space. I don't think that it is an actual. You can support free speech and still agree that these students, concerned students, 1950, had legitimate grievances. But it's not my prerogative to narrate that because I'm just a journalist. I'm also an activist, but I keep my activist and my journalist life separate. So not my prerogative.
Mark Schierbecker, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it. Good luck to you. For more on this story, please visit foxnews.com. I'm Greg Jarrett.